Animal chiropractic friends. I've been thinking, this little idea churns in my head about veterinary medicine, but about practices in general and how they are designed, or how clients expect them to be versus how the doctor would like them to be. And I continue to, the thought that catches me, that keeps me from, what's the word I want? Didn't have a plan. They didn't start out with a plan, and the plan became whatever clients helped them design, when clients needed them versus when was best for those clients. In chiropractic, I think that chiropractic started out a little bit that way, but chiropractors were smart, and they knew that if they were open for only certain hours, and one of the things that shaped chiropractic was that, and many of you don't know this, was that it was illegal in many states. And so it had very limited hours. Its hours were, after dark, and only when they could sneak in, and only at some strange times. So I think chiropractors, I think it was a service of some sort to chiropractors to have to realize that their hours could be shaped by them in ways to get around other things. But veterinary medicine, I started out with more client shaping the practice than the doctor shaping the practice. And the result of that was that we had practices that were basically, terrible for the doctor. And for those doctors who are still following that model because that's what they walked into, we see lots of veterinary medicine changing and reshaping itself and trying to become a model that works better for both parties, the client and the doctor. And I think that those practices, those animal chiropractic practices that work the best, do two things. And they do it well, and they focus on this really, really well. Number one, they serve the client in a way that makes it convenient for the doctor. And when we do that, that doctor they can play their A game. They can be on their best thought process. They can make sure that those patients get the kind of care and referral that they need because they are sharp and they're keeping track of things. The other thing that it does, so that's number one. Number two is that it educates the client. And a practice that takes out time specifically to educate their clients does better for both the doctor and for the client, because it helps those clients to be better at recognizing the importance or the value of the practice. So the third thing that it does that I didn't mention earlier is that both of those two things actually improve the revenue of the practice so that doctor can do better things in the community, so that doctor can be a bigger leader and a better service in that community. So a good animal chiropractic practice, or a good veterinary practice, or a good chiropractic practice do those three things. They service the client at a time that is convenient for the doctor so that the doctor can be on their A game. They educate the client and patient so that they're more empowered to understand their health, and they bring a bigger reward for the practice so that the practice can serve more people. And I don't mean just the doctor, because you have to remember that practices are made up of people, and they actually feed families in your community. Different practices serve more families. The bigger the practice, families that practice is feeding. If you're a veterinarian or a chiropractor and want to make sure that your practice does those three things, find us today at animalchiropracticeducation.com, where we train veterinarians and chiropractors to build profitable animal chiropractic practices.